Alright, so during the week, Bob Arum was on Talksport, and he basically confirmed that Tyson Fury has now invoked the rematch clause for Oleksandr Usyk. He also talked about the fight taking place late on this year or possibly early next year, because obviously they originally talked about, Turkey Al Sheikh talked about it anyway, that when the rematch happens, it's going to happen sometime in October, either a Saturday or a Sunday, October the 12th or the 13th. And following on from their fight, Alexander Usyk, Tyson Fury, you kind of looked at that date and you kind of looked and thought, oh, October? That's probably a little bit too soon. Probably a little bit too soon. So it's likely it'll take place late on this year. Alexander Usyk is already looking for an exemption from the IBF, so that kind of indicates to me that he's not thinking of retirement just yet anyway. He's ready to go ahead with this fight. Tyson Fury seems to be ready to go ahead with this fight as well. Just probably not in October. It's probably going to be later on in the year. But it got me thinking about this fight. And obviously, the first fight, we look forward to it for so long. The second fight, I do still look forward to it, but it's a different feel. Obviously, we've seen him in the ring now. We kind of know what to expect. But you look at the rematch on paper and you just think, how the hell does Tyson Fury actually win that fight? Because for me, Tyson Fury, for those rounds 4, 5, and 6, that's as good as I've seen him in the last couple of years. It's probably as good as I've seen him in that little spurt since the second Wilder fight. He literally could only sustain that for 3 rounds. And he was on the verge of getting stopped worse than we've ever seen before. He'd been dropped, but not like this, where he was just staggering all around the ring. And I looked at that and I thought, you know what? He's not getting any younger. I know he's the younger man, but he's not looked after himself. Alexander Usyk does. He took more of a beating in that fight, took way more shots than Alexander Usyk did. How can he win the fight? And given the fact that in the post-fight interview, he said he felt like he won. When you see fighters and they seem as though they almost don't want to take responsibility. And I know they're not going to turn around and say, oh yeah, I got beat by the better. Some of them do say that they got bet by the better man on the night. They can change things, changes will happen, etc. But if you leave a fight thinking, well, I won it, I did what I needed to do and I won it, I just got, jobbed on the cards, which he didn't obviously, but the comment he made about Alexander Usyk, his country, all that stuff. If he goes into a rematch with this guy thinking, well, what I did the first time around was working and it worked, I just got unlucky with the decision. Yeah, newsflash, that's not going to work. And you are going to get beat even more clearly. You might even get stopped this time. So if you're going into a rematch with that kind of mindset, it's not going to work well for you. And second of all, when you look at Team Fury, his team is in complete disarray. It's a complete mess of a team, the way it is right now. And if he wants to have any chance whatsoever of winning that rematch, what does he need to do? He needs to make some serious changes to that team. Deontay Wilder, and the Fury fans were right to do this, by the way. They were right to critique him because Deontay Wilder, it's almost like, Wilder in reverse or Wilder 2.0 now with Tyson Fury. Because if you think about it like this, right? Deontay Wilder, when he lost to Tyson Fury the first time, he came up with all these excuses. Now, to be fair, Fury, the only real excuse he's come up with, he hasn't, I don't think, bought the excuse that people like Isaac Low IQ came out with, where, Usyk kissing across, for some reason, that was something else completely. I don't know what you were looking at, but pretty damn sure looked like cross to me. He's not buying those excuses, but Wilder bought those excuses. He blamed his team. What he did is he took the one member of his team, which was Mark Breland, who was actually there, who was trying to get the best out of Deontay Wilder, who wasn't a yes man, got rid of him, and he kept the continuation of the yes man in his team, and then brought in Malik Scott, who, if anything, have we really seen it? If I didn't know, we've seen with Wilder now is he's lost the killer instinct. And with Tyson Fury, at one point he had Peter Fury in the team, who we know Peter Fury is very much a straight shooter. He's a Kamen influence as well. He's a straight shooter. He'll tell you to your face, you're doing this wrong. He might use stronger words, but he'll tell you out straight. But he does it in a calm way. He's a very reassuring voice. He knows what he's talking about. He's good at getting his point across. He's not bringing anarchy into a corner like someone like John Fury is. And Sugar Hill Stewart is cut from that same bread. Sugar Hill is very much a straight shooter. I get the impression he's a serious man. Not serious in the sense of you wouldn't really want to cross him. You probably wouldn't want to cross Sugar Hill Stewart, to be fair. but he's not a yes man. But you look at Team Fury, everyone else, I mean, it's just Tyson Fury clingers on. It's just a complete team of yes men. And that's literally what how does that work for Deontay Wilder? Not well. And Tyson Fury is he's literally following the Wilder blueprint of what not to do. He's bringing yes men into his team. He's bringing anarchy in the form of John Fury, which Tyson has always been better when he's had a calm and influence in the corner, i.e. Peter Fury. And if you listen to Sugar Hill, he's not a big, loud character or anything like that. He gives good advice. He seems calm. He explains it well. But then he's trying to talk over John Fury and Andy Lee, who really should know better. Andy Lee as well. He's trying to talk over both of them in the corner. So how in God's name is the main trainer going to get his point across when he's trying to... And he's giving Fury good advice, as he was in the Usyk fight, and it's being just completely countered out by John Fury shouting over him. So if Tyson Fury is going to have any chance of winning this fight, if he goes into this fight with the same approach that he went into the first fight with, if he thinks that he won the first fight, if he thinks that the team is perfect as it is, oh lads, this is going to be painful to watch, because he is going to get eaten up and spat back out. Because I feel Fury's on the decline, and I feel that he took a lot of punishment in that Usyk fight. Now, saying that, he took a lot of punishment, he's going to be on the decline anyway. So you put him in there with even Peter Fury. If you got rid of John, you got rid of everyone, you brought his old team, Peter Fury and those likes back in, he'd probably still lose. But it would definitely be, you definitely go and look and say, I could give him a better chance, because he's got the right team. He's got a team who was going to tell him out straight. They're not going to gaslight him, because Tyson Fury likes to gaslight the public. Well, his team seems to want to do that with him by telling him everything's great when it's clearly not. The likes of Gareth A. Davis, he had a great camp. Really? Alright. He had such a great camp, he needed, more time. And obviously he gets cut and doesn't look good in the sparring clips, but he's having a great camp, really. Well, define great. Usyk clearly had a great camp. Tyson Fury, I'm not so sure. He needs to get rid of all that. And if he does that, he gives himself a better chance of winning this fight. I wouldn't be saying I'm picking him. But if he doesn't, if he goes into this fight with the same approach, and, it's early stages now where we're hearing that the rematch clause has been activated, but who's to say Tyson Fury doesn't go into the gym, decide, I don't want this anymore. I don't know if I can do another camp. And Tyson Fury may say, Usyk got the decision because of the conflict in his country. Oh, it's this, and I did everything right. But I'm sure deep down he's got to know, this guy had my number. This guy had my number in that first fight, and how the hell am I going to be better than I was that first fight? When I've had a few shaky performances going into this fight, I managed to put it all together, or at least as best I can, and it wasn't enough. And you're talking about back-to-back. You see, Tyson Fury, with people like Alan Babbage, who've been saying that his body is just, it's breaking down in these camps. If he fights twice a year, i.e. Dylan White and Derek Chisora, one of the camps, Dylan White was obviously, he was very well prepared. He did good in that. The second fight, Derek Chisora, he won it, but he was in there against the shot to bits Chisora. And even then there was a few signs. How hard did he really train? Did he really push his body to the limit? He definitely didn't against Francis Ngannou. Can Fury's body actually go through back-to-back hard training camps? I'm sure if he was going in there against Francis Ngannou again, and he just, brought the workload down in training camp, he'd be probably okay. But the fact that he's going to have to try and go through a second training camp for Oleksandr Usyk, knowing he can't leave no stone unturned, will his body actually get through that? There's a lot of questions about this rematch that we have to ask. It's certainly more so about Tyson Fury than Oleksandr Usyk, and that's why with this fight being late on, I wouldn't be shocked if this fight happened. I wouldn't even be shocked if we're sitting here April next year, April 2025, waiting for the rematch in May 2025, a year later. It would not shock me even in the slightest. And it wouldn't shock me if Tyson Fury is the main culprit for that, by having to push it back because of this, because of that, because of injuries. Because I don't see him getting through two back-to-back ruling camps. And unless he has changes, serious changes in his team, I do not see him winning this Usyk fight. No, sir. If he doesn't change that team and get rid of some of the yes men, keep John Fury at a distance, let Sugar Hill have the reins, I mean, he's done before he's even started. He's lost that fight before a punch has even been thrown, in my opinion. Seriously. Because Tyson Fury is a very talented fighter. And it's just, when you see the team and how it is and how just the complete disarray it is in. It's just like, what the hell, you know? Sugar Hill Stewart, a very good coach, a guy who I think will bring out the best in Fury as well as Peter Fury, but that's not going to happen. And it's just completely counteracted by all this. You know, do you ever hear the saying, too many cooks spoil the broth? There you go. And that's exactly what it is with Team Fury. You've got one key ingredient in there, and then you go and flip and ruin it. That's what you go and do. So that's my thoughts on this. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think that even if, you know, Fury had Sugar Hill Stewart, Peter Fury, he got through a good training camp, it was all good, that he'd still end up losing to Usyk? I think he probably would, given how the first fight went. And more often than not, the fighter who wins, look, Usyk won this fight decisively. The scorecards will tell you otherwise, but listen, the scorecards will tell you that Callum Smith, John Ryder was a wide fight in favour of Callum Smith. Was it? No. The scorecards, that's what the judges are saying, but the people who watched it, we know Usyk won that fight pretty handily, you know, at being very generous, 5-7, and that's very generous because I couldn't really find 5 rounds to give to Fury. It's a 6-4, it's an 8-4 or a 9-3 type fight for Oleksandr Usyk, which is a fairly, you know, slam dunk win. It's going to be hard to come back from that in a rematch. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. I hope you enjoyed the video, people. Smash the like button if you could. Hit subscribe, of course, as always, if you haven't already. Peace.